Hey guys, welcome back to another pick a card reading. Today's reading is all about what people assume about you, okay? We have 4 piles here as usual. Pile 1, 2, 3, and 4. So feel free to pause this video for a moment, as always, if you need some time to meditate on which of these piles you feel the most drawn to. And then once you've chosen, you can fast forward to the timestamp in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and without further ado, let's start with group 1. Hey group 1, welcome to your reading. For all of you who chose this beautiful Angel Aura Quartz, let's get into your reading and see what people assume about you. Let's start off with your tarot first. Okay. Some other cards. Okay, we have the Star, the King of Cups, the Ten of Wands, as well as the Moon. Ooh. This is a very magical energy that we have here in this pile. We have 2 celestial objects. We have the star and the moon. So there's this otherworldliness to you, pile 1. People might literally assume that you're foreign or that you were born somewhere else because you guys never really fit in with the crowd. You guys have something about you that stands out as different, okay? So it could be your style, it could be the way you look, but yeah, you guys don't really fit in with the crowd. So people assume that you're foreign or you're from a different background. We also have the Ten of Wands here. So another thing, of course, people assume about you is that you are extremely hardworking, and that guys can be quite selfless too. Maybe you guys volunteer for a charity, or you work at a shelter. You do something that is visibly selfless, okay? So people assume that you're a very charitable person, you're hardworking. Another thing that's coming through quite strongly with you guys is that people might think you're religious, or that you have some kind of religious background with the star here. The star does deal with higher powers. It's a card of magic, the future, and ideals. This is also giving me new age vibes. Like maybe you guys wear crystals and can rock that look, and people just assume that you're very new age. If not, then people definitely assume that you're religious. Okay, pile 1. Let's see what other cards we have. Okay, we have Augur, Mastery, as well as Dowsing Rods, Seeker. Ooh, okay, Dowsing Rods. This has a very adventurous quality. Maybe people think that you have traveled to many places. Again, like people assume that you're foreign. Maybe you've traveled to a lot of different places in the world, that you're very cultured and open-minded about people's customs and cultures, okay? There's a very adventurous quality to this pile, that you guys have been to other places. Again, there's something about you that is very otherworldly. And then this Mastery card is making me think that you guys are old souls. You guys are obviously very wise beyond your years. Maybe people think that you're older than you actually are, or perhaps that you're more educated than you are. People yet definitely assume that you are educated, well-cultured, and extremely wise. So overall, people do assume that you're different, a bit quirky. Maybe people do assume that you're on the weirder side. But definitely that you are knowledgeable, wise, adventurous, that you're from somewhere else. Maybe people look at you and assume that you're from a particular culture or you have a certain set of traditions or beliefs, okay? Beliefs are coming through really strongly in what people assume about you, especially if you guys are religious, all right? Let's see what else is coming through for you guys. Okay, so we have do not be frustrated, let go and feel peaceful. Ooh, okay. We have transformation, let love transform you forever. Wow. And then we have willpower, improve your willpower to reduce your stress level. This is interesting because this is kind of reminding me of this do not feel frustrated card, because it says let go and feel peaceful, and then here we have improve your willpower to reduce your stress level. Yeah, okay, people assume that you are quite peaceful. You guys are very peaceful. That was kind of the vibe that I was getting earlier with the King of Cups here. This is a very calming, watery energy. The King of Cups also has a great sense of emotional control as well. He doesn't let those waters get too muddied or out of control here. So people definitely think that you guys have a great sense of control, self-control, that you guys are reliable as well. This transformation card is very beautiful. It's also interesting that we have the moon here in addition to this card, because the moon is a card as well that deals with changes, cycles. So maybe it's clear that you've been through some drastic transformations that could be on a physical level or just mentally, that you guys have undergone a lot of changes in your life. And also this pearl is again just giving me really wise, older vibes. People think you are on the more mature or older side for sure, but like in a good way, okay? Not that you guys look haggard or old or anything, just that it appears to people that you've had a lot of experience in the things that you are interested in, especially if those deal with charities or doing hard work that is very selfless, okay? All right. So the last cards we have are Just for a Moment, Joy, as well as the Light Field. Yeah, I'm just getting very peaceful vibes with you guys. You have a very beautiful aura. That is definitely something that people notice as soon as they meet you. We have the light field here. You guys radiate this light of love, joy, higher vibrational energies that kind of blind everything else out. I think that's also why we have the star and the moon here, because these are very bright objects in the sky and they banish that darkness. That is part of your magic, is being able to fill a room with good vibes, love, peace. You guys are very non-stressful people, great to be around. So people naturally assume that you are a happy person, that you have a lot of light in your life, a lot of love, that you're very loving, and that you're usually joyful here, okay? And just for a moment, this is also making me think that you guys, again, are very, like, adventurous. You do have a spontaneous side where you like doing things for the thrill, seeking out new adventures, meeting new people. You guys seem very experienced in that field. Again, like, you guys have met lots of different people from different cultures, different ethnicities. You seem very educated and just all around to be a very nice, mature person. All right. So the last thing I'll do for you guys is roll the Astro dice to get any last minute info. Okay, so we have Scorpio, we have Saturn, and we have the second house. Yeah, so Saturn is a very mature energy this is where this Augur Mastery card comes in for you guys. You come across as very mature, older than your age perhaps, but definitely reliable and well experienced. And then the Scorpio energy is very magical. People think that you are very connected to your beliefs and that you're very just non-stressful. When I think of Scorpio energy, it's fixed water, right? So it can be very still, discreet, and like calming, okay? And then the second house, this is the house of values, possessions as well. So again, people assume that you are someone who is very connected to their values, their traditions, what they believe in. Someone who is also fearless as well and unapologetically authentic, okay? So yeah, these are the things that I'm seeing for this pile. So I will leave it at that for now. I hope you guys liked it. I hope it was fun and insightful. If you did like it, feel free to give this video a thumbs up, comment, or subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a super amazing day wherever you're at. Stay awesome, and I will see you guys later. Hey group 2, welcome to your reading. Let's find out what people assume about you. We'll start off with your tarot, and then we will get into your oracle cards. All right, we have the Five of Cups, the Two of Wands, we have Temperance, as well as the Queen of Wands. This is a very beautiful energy that you guys have. The first card is kind of throwing me off a bit, the Five of Cups. This is very different from all these other cards here. The Five of Cups is often a card of loss, sometimes regret as well. But the way she's holding her heart right here makes me think that people assume that you're a very sweet, sensitive person, okay? Someone who they wouldn't want to be mean to or wrong in any way, okay? And then we have the Two of Wands here. And the Two of Wands is a card of adventure, intuition. I think people assume you guys are very intuitive. This card kind of represents a portal or gateway, like seeing beyond, seeing into the future as well. I also think of adventure when I think of this card too. So people assume that you are spontaneous, that you guys are very fun. We have a very strong energy here with the Queen of Wands. Let's talk about it. So I think people assume you're a very fierce person, highly loyal, protective of your friends, your family. People don't want to mess with you. You guys are very fierce. You also have a lot of creative potential as well. I think that's also something people assume about you, that you guys are, if not like creative, then artistic, that you guys have a flair for the arts. We also have Temperance here, and this is a card of balance. It can be a card of duality as well. But what's coming through most of all is the way she's looking up, like carefree. This is a very happy, carefree pile. People definitely assume that you guys are outgoing, joyful. It's also interesting that we have the Temperance card right next to the Two of Wands, because twos deal with balance as well. So it's clear that balance is something that's coming through strongly in this reading. People assume that you have a very balanced life. And I think also people assume that you are a balanced person. Like, you can be very sensitive and soft and sweet, but you can also be fiercely protective. You can be a bit fiery at times. The main word that's coming through though with this Queen of Wands energy for you guys is fierce. So people very much assume that you guys are fierce and not someone who they would want to mess with at all. Let's see what else we get. Okay, we have Ouija board, caution, as well as tea leaves, foresight. Ooh, okay, this is reminding me a lot of this Two of Wands card. The tea leaves card, foresight, intuition. Yeah, people definitely assume that you guys have a unique insight or perspective into things. Maybe that's also why people are a bit cautious around you or don't want to mess with you, because they think that, or they assume that you guys are keeping like a watchful eye on them, or rather that you can see through people very well. You guys are great at reading people. I think that's definitely something that comes through that people assume about you, but it's also true that you guys are great lie detectors. And also that you guys are great managers and planners. That's also something, because you need foresight to be able to see ahead and to plan things out accordingly. And then again, Ouija board, I just think that people approach you with caution. They never know, like, if you're going to be in a more, like, protective space or if you're going to be very sensitive. I think people definitely take that into account. But first impression wise, like, people just assume that you're not someone to mess with, okay? That you guys do have something going on the low key here, especially with the Two of Wands. This is a very hidden energy. There's something about you that kind of lurks beneath the surface. Not like anything sketchy like that or like sneaky, but people do assume that you guys are all knowing, and people don't want to rub you the wrong way, especially if you guys are in a more sensitive, vulnerable place. I think that's also just something that's coming through. Like, people don't want to rub you the wrong way. Pile 2. Let's see what else there is going on with you guys. All right, we have self-creation. Be the author of your own life. Yeah, like very creative energy going on here. And then we have accepting challenges, trust your inner resources. Okay. As well as determination, perseverance leads to fortune. Yeah, okay, people assume that you're a very determined person, not necessarily hardworking, like pile 1, but people definitely assume that you guys have great willpower and that you guys can endure a lot too. Ooh, okay. Okay, here's the thing. This accepting challenges card is mirroring the Temperance card. I don't know if you can see that, but when I saw this come out, like next to this card, they both have this angelic figure that's kind of like swaying backwards. People think you're a team player. They think that you're someone who's very fair, honest, direct. I think you guys can be, or rather, like, people assume that you can be a bit harsh with your words at times, but if you are, it's because you're being protective of yourself and you're not gonna let people make you feel bad about yourself. Like, you guys aren't gonna do it. People also assume you're very confident as well. I think you guys just are really confident though. There's a lot of creative energy, as I said earlier with the self-creation card. People assume that you have an artistic or creative flair to you. Maybe some of you guys work at a bookshop. I'm really getting that vibe with you guys. It's a very colorful, like, beautiful, also like suggestive vibe that I get from you guys. It's really funny. I think also people feel like they can trust you as well. People open up to you a lot. That's also with the Two of Wands, the vibe with the gates opening. You come across to people as someone who's very trustworthy, honest, direct, creative, but again, fierce, which is great. Okay, so the last cards we have are the Christ Flame as well as Sensual Awakening. Okay, so the Christ Flame, similar to Temperance, you guys are called by something higher, like a higher power. Maybe you guys come across as like religious or very devout in whatever you practice or you preach to people. But you guys are driven by something greater than yourselves. You come across usually as very sweet, selfless. You have a beautiful fire energy too that's going on in this reading. Maybe some of you guys have some strong fire in your chart. But yeah, people definitely assume that you're driven by something higher, like a higher force. Okay? And then sensual awakening. This is beautiful. You guys are clearly very confident in your body, in your sensuality here. Yeah, people assume you're confident, guys, but in a good way, you know, like you are very confident in the way you look or in the way you come across to people. You guys can be a bit flirtatious as well, but it's a very inviting, like warm energy that I'm picking up from you guys. People definitely assume you're very warm, friendly. They know you can be fiery as well. So again, people do approach you, I think, with this caution in mind, but overall, a very like creative, colorful, intuitive pile that we have here. So the last thing I'll do for you guys is roll the astro dice to get any last minute info on what people assume about you. Okay, so we have Neptune, we have Aries, yeah, that's that fire we're talking about. We also have third house. Okay, so Neptune, right? Neptune is a planet of spirituality, dreams, intuition. Again, people definitely assume that you're very intuitive, that you feel called to do something, or maybe it's like you guys have a calling in life. That could also be what's going on here with this divine energy that you have. And then we have third house. The third house deals with communication, short distance travel. There's something about you guys, when I said earlier that maybe some of you guys work in like a bookshop or a coffee shop, there's something about you that seems like familiar. Maybe people assume that you live in the general location when they meet you. There's something about you that seems very homely and familiar with the third house. The third house, I also think of like curiosity as well, learning. You guys, people assume that you're very knowledgeable and that you have a great insight into things, okay? So yeah, these are the main things I'm receiving for this pile. So I will leave it at that for now. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you found it fun and insightful. If you did like it, feel free to give this video a thumbs up, comment, or subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a super amazing day wherever you're at. Stay awesome, and I will see you guys later. Hey group 3, welcome to your reading. Let's get right into this and find out what people assume about you. Okay, let's start off with your tarot, and then we'll get into your oracle cards. Okay, we have the Four of Cups, the Knight of Swords, the Four of Wands, as well as the Queen of Swords. Gorgeous. Okay, so the first thing that jumps out to me about this pile is that we have two fours here. Fours deal with structure and balance, so people definitely think that you're a very balanced, well-structured person. Perhaps that you have a lot of structure in your life. The Four of Wands, though, this is a very cheerful energy. I would say aside from the Three of Cups, this card is like the celebratory card in the deck. This is a card associated with celebrations, just festive times, okay? So people definitely assume that you're a very cheery person, like cheerful, giddy, that you guys can be very funny. You guys definitely have a sense of humor somewhere in there. But also at the same time, we have a lot of swords here too. We have the Knight and the Queen of Swords. So you guys can be highly logical, intelligent as well. I'm almost getting like Spock vibes here with the Queen of Wands. Yeah. So you guys are clearly someone who, at least people assume that you're very smart, that you have a high IQ. Maybe it also has to do with your career. Maybe people assume that you're in a career that involves those kinds of skills, like being a lawyer, like a doctor, perhaps. People definitely assume that you are well accomplished, okay? That you are very credible, that you have a lot of stuff on your resume as well here. That's just a vibe that I get from this pile, that people kind of assume the best of you with the Four of Cups. This is a card of kind of like false hope. This can be a very optimistic energy though as well. But I think in the context with these other cards, people kind of assume the best of you, pile 3. You're kind of lucky here. People assume that you're very intelligent, but also that you are fun to be around. You aren't a joy kill at all. Like, you're not the type of Spock that takes the fun out of the situation. You guys know how to have a good time, how to keep people in a good mood. I also feel like people assume that you're a great host. That's also a message that's coming through. The Queen of Swords can be a very sharp energy as well. Maybe people assume that you can be very cutthroat, that you are competitive. People definitely assume, though, that you're not a very emotional person or someone who is more into reason and logic. People would not want to get into an argument with you. That is definitely something that is coming through for you guys. Let's see what else we get. Okay. We have Pendulum, Decision, as well as Geomancy, Patient. Or Patience. Ooh, okay. These are very slow energies, like Pendulum, as we all know, they can just take a while to stop in a particular place, and then an Hourglass, same thing. They measure time. So maybe people assume that you're a bit on the slower side. Not like stupid. Obviously people assume that you're very smart. But there is a calculated energy here as well with the Geomancy card being patient. You guys kind of wait for the right moment to make your move or to strike at people. So yeah, people assume that you have a lot of self-control. You can be very patient, structured. You have a lot of balance and refinement to you as well with these cards. Okay, the next cards we have are Silencing the Mind. It says, let silence guide you to your inner peace. We have Listen to Advice. Guidance is needed to cross the ocean of life. Yeah, okay, people definitely assume that you're someone who gives great advice. I think it also ties into what I was saying earlier about how you guys come across as very successful or just well accomplished. People naturally assume that you're someone who could give them advice, or that you're a very credible person, okay? That you have a lot of respect, and also that you're someone who has a lot of recognition, perhaps, for the things that you do or your accomplishments, okay? And then we have Return to Joy. Okay, it says we are here to experience joy. So similar to the Four of Wands, guys, this is a very cheerful energy, to say the least. You guys clearly have an abundance of happiness in your life, or at least, again, this is what people assume about you. People assume that you're a very happy, benefic person. I'm almost seeing like the Ghost of Christmas Present. If you guys know anything about the Christmas Carol, Charles Dickens. People might also assume that you're rich or you're on the richer side because of that, because you guys just have a very abundant, joyful energy all the time. People assume that you have stuff in your life to be happy about, especially materially. I honestly just get a very comedic vibe though with this pile. People assume you're very funny and entertaining and also someone who can be very calculating and put up a good fight as well if you need to. But you guys definitely move at snail pace here with these cards. I'm not really getting, even though you guys obviously have a very celebratory, abundant energy here, people also assume that you're on the slower side to register things, or that you just move at a snail pace. That's not necessarily a bad thing. There's not like anything in these cards that's making me think that people assume the worst about you. Like, trust me. I think if anything, people assume the best about you, pile 3. And then silencing the mind. I think, here's the thing. I feel like you guys don't say much. People might assume that you're on the introverted side because of that. Even though they can see that you do like to express your joy when you guys are having a good time. You guys do like to have a good time, clearly. I think people also assume that you're on the quieter, slower side, alright? So let's take a look at your last cards. We have Within Nothing, There's Everything, as well as Dance of the Planets. Okay, so Dance of the Planets. This card is all about alignment, when the planets come into alignment and create a very complementary energy. So, people again think that you are very harmonious, well-balanced, that you have a lot of structure in your life, a lot of good things going for you. There's a lot of positive, abundant energy in these cards again. So, yeah, people assume that you're very aligned, that you move through life at your own pace, that you don't rush things. People might also assume that you do drugs. I know that that sounds very specific. I don't mean it in a negative way at all. I just mean that maybe sometimes people assume that you're, because like you don't say much and you come across as introverted, maybe some people interpret that as you being just out of it and like on something, okay? But it's really funny though with this pile, for sure. And then Within Nothing, There's Everything. There is a lot of color here. You guys have a lot of different interests and talents. I feel like people assume you're very talented in specific things, especially like music perhaps, or I don't know, maybe some of you guys sing or you literally can dance. But people definitely assume that you're talented, especially if it has something to do with dance or music, okay? This is a very poetic card. So yeah, I just think that people assume that you're on the slower side, but also very abundant, intelligent, well-balanced. You have a very harmonious blend of energies going on here. And also that you guys can be on the more introverted side as well. So the last thing I'm going to do for you guys is roll the Astro Dice to get any last minute info on what people assume about you. Okay. Okay, so we have Leo, we have 12th house, and we have Uranus. Okay, Uranus can be a bit of a kooky energy. Yeah, people definitely assume that you can be out of it at times because you don't say much. You're on, that you seem more introverted or in your own zone, your own little world of fantasies and off with the fairies, to be real. But it's really, it's funny. Like, we have Leo here. This is also a very creative energy. So again, people assume that you're very joyful, that you have specific things that you're very talented at, especially if they are creative arts, things like that. And then we have the 12th house. The 12th house is the house of dreams. This is also the house of fantasies and illusions. So I think people do have some illusions about you. People do assume the best of you, I think, because we have this Leo energy here and then Uranus. There are some people who don't really know quite what to make of you, but if it comes down to it, people will sooner choose to believe that you're up to good rather than no good, okay? It's just a very fun energy with this pile. So yeah, these are the main things I'm seeing for you guys. So I will leave this reading at that for now. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you found it fun and insightful. If you did like it, feel free to give this video a thumbs up, comment, or subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a super amazing day wherever you're at. Stay awesome, and I will see you guys later. Hey group 4, welcome to your reading for all of you who chose this beautiful Celestite crystal. Let's find out what people assume about you. Alright, let's start off with your tarot, and then we will get into your oracle cards. We have the Four of Coins, or the Four of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, the Two of Cups, as well as the Magician. This is powerful, guys. Okay. So, we start off with the Four of Coins. This is a card of structure. It can be a bit rigid at times, but I'm getting a very like merchant, tradesman quality with this card. Perhaps you guys, people assume that you're very connected to whatever trade or like profession that you have. Maybe people like to assume your career based off like the way you look or the way you come off. I think that's kind of funny. We have a lot of cups here. I think overall people assume that you're very kind-hearted, that you're very trustworthy and authentic. You guys have a very real energy here with the Four of Coins and all these cups here. The Two of Cups is a card of relationships. This is like the relationship card other than the Lovers. So maybe people assume that you know a lot of people, that you have a lot of connections. Maybe not that like you're popular or anything, but that you certainly know a lot of people, especially powerful people with the Magician here. But also I just think that people assume you are a powerful person because of the relationships that you have, or maybe it's tied to your career. I think people assume a lot about you based off of your career. And then the Knight of Cups here. This is a very friendly knight. The Knight of Cups is probably the most receptive of all of the knights. I get a very warm energy from this. I think many people's first impression of you is that they like you, or they think that you are very authentic. That is a strong message for you guys. I'm also kind of just getting major Harry Potter vibes with this pile. I think it has to do with the Magician here. But Harry is obviously a very powerful wizard, and usually his reputation precedes him, obviously, as like the boy who lived. So maybe you guys have a very strong reputation. Like people assume a lot about you because of your reputation. But I feel like for you guys, like I'm not picking up on anything that's kind of like shady or that would give people a bad impression of you. Because we have the Two of Cups here, we have the Knight of Cups. Both of these cards are very friendly and just give me strong friendship vibes. So again, like people assume you have a lot of friends, that you know a lot of people, that you have a vast network of people who you can hit up. But yeah, people assume you're very trustworthy, that you're someone who they can count on, and also that you're very kind and powerful as well. Okay, your next cards are Footprints, it says Direction, as well as Book, Knowledge. Okay, yeah, this is kind of a geeky energy here, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe some of you guys do wear glasses. Honestly, like Harry Potter is just coming through, like, through the roof with this pile, okay? So, people assume you are very knowledgeable, wise, maybe that you are more mature or on the older side as well. with the Magician card. I think also people assume that you're a free spirit, that you wander from place to place and kind of follow your own path in life and don't stray from your own direction. So yeah, people assume you're a free spirit, that you're very friendly. I think people just all around assume that you would make a great friend and that you're extremely wise here as well. Okay, so your next cards we have deal with the unexpected, treat the unforeseen as a divine offering. We have life's purpose. It says seek your own deeper vision for life. And then we have work of art. It says be the portrait of divine beauty. This is gorgeous, guys. Okay. Actually, what I've noticed about all these cards is that they have the same colors. Like we have all pinks and purples. So that's very much the awakened heart chakra. We have like pinks here, purples, and also the crown as well. So people do assume that you are highly spiritual, that you have a lot of inner magic, again with the Magician, that you can make things happen, you can bring things into existence, especially if it is, if I can get the card, like creative works of art. I think you guys have a very beautiful way of manifesting things. You guys also have a very maternal energy as well. I think people, it's like they respect you, but also they feel this warm energy when they're around you, like they want to be your friend. And then life's purpose. I think this is also tied to footprints, direction. I think you guys, it's very clear that you have a lot of potential in life and you have a divine purpose here on this earth. I think it's clear also when people meet you that you have a special purpose here. You guys are very friendship oriented. You know a lot of people. You're very much tied to like your career and passing down this knowledge and wisdom to other people, sharing it with people, making lasting bonds and connections. It's very beautiful. I think you guys are very open and receptive. People assume you're open-minded, okay? I think also people assume that they shouldn't assume anything about you because you have a lot of different things that kind of contradict each other. I think maybe it's like people wouldn't expect you to be friends with the people who you are friends with, or maybe people don't expect you to be in the career that you're in. There is something about you that comes off as very unexpected. So people do know to not assume that many stuff about you. Okay, group 4. And then the last cards we have are the Pearl Threaded and Shifting Universes. Wow. Okay, that almost fell out of my hand. I'm hearing jazz music. Maybe some of you guys do jazz or do music, or people assume that about you based off of the way you come off or the way you look. The Pearl Threaded, as we all know, pearls are very old. They have a wisdom. They contain many memories that can last centuries. So yeah, people assume that you are very wise beyond your years, that you're very mature. You guys come off as an old soul for sure. So I think people definitely assume you're on the older side, that you have a lot of experience in your dealings with other people, that you're a great people person in general. And also, again, that you guys have a magical ability to manifest things and bring things into your life, whether they be people or opportunities. People definitely assume that you have a strong connection to magic as well as your life purpose, okay? All right, so the last thing I'll do for you guys is roll the Astro Dice to get any last minute info on what people assume about you. pile 4. Okay, so we have North Node, we have Capricorn, and we have the 12th house. Yeah, Capricorn energy. This is all about the career, the social ladder. Clearly, people assume a lot about your career or like the direction that you're taking in life, especially like professionally or having to do with your trade. And we have North Node here. The North Node is connected to our destiny, our purpose, and our self-evolution. So you're the type of person, clearly, when people meet you, definitely assume that you're on this earth for a special reason. You guys have a purpose here. And then we have the 12th house. The 12th house is the house of dreams, fantasies, illusions. I think people do have some illusions about you. People do assume certain things about you that might be a bit too good to be true. I was saying a similar thing about pile 3 actually, because I think they got 12th house too. The thing is about the 12th house, because it does deal with illusions and fantasies, sometimes certain things can appear better than they actually are, or people would rather choose to believe the better side of that. Okay? I'm not saying that you guys aren't like as good as people assume you are. I'm just saying that people do have illusions about you, clearly. But also, again, people do I think also the reason why people assume the best of you is because we have like the North Node here. And the North Node is fundamentally a very karmic, evolutionary point in everyone's chart that deals with aspiration and purpose. So, yeah, people definitely assume that you have a profound sense of wisdom and you're here on this earth for a special purpose, okay? So yeah, I hope this made sense to you guys. These are the main things I am receiving for this pile, so I will leave it at that for now. I hope you guys liked it. I hope it was fun and insightful. If you did like it, feel free to give this video a thumbs up, comment, or subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a super amazing day. Stay awesome, and I will see you guys later.